I don't know. I don't like wish harm on anybody. I really don't. I won't be surprised if it happens, but I don't wish harm on people. It's just not what I do. Um, I don't wish anything for Chris, I guess. I just wish he hadn't done it. But let's see what this guy has to say.
So, Chris Watts, the piece of shit that killed his whole family, weak little motherfucker, finally got just a little bit of a taste of what he's gonna get for the rest of his life. People ask me all the time when I go.
Hi guys, welcome to ParaWomen Radio, day 16 of LIVEmas. How is everyone doing? I'm doing well. The little dog is doing well. The little bird is in the back room, so you shouldn't be hearing too much from him. Today, I thought we would talk about Chris Watts. I wanted to talk about all his confessions, but as I was editing it and getting into it, it's going to take me longer to edit than I thought. So I'm going to put that either for the last day and make it an extra long LIVEmas, or edit it down because the confessions were pretty long. So we're going to see what we can do about that. But today, I thought we would do a Chris Watts update. What is his life in prison today in 2023? And I've got some stuff lined up for us. Hi, Jen. Good morning. I followed the case from the beginning. I can't let it go. You know, Jen, you are Jen. I can't either. And what's funny is I am working with a coach to make my page better. And we're working on developing what it is about my followers and listeners that are interested in the Watts case. So I'm trying to develop one person that when I talk to the screen, I see you. So if you guys could tell me what it is you like about the Watts case, it would help me understand you a little bit better. And it'll help me be able to talk directly to you. If that makes sense. Because I want to make this a page that you guys like and love, and a page for you guys. So that's where I am with working with a coach. So far, I like it. Today, we're actually doing something new, and hold on one second. I have to figure out where I'm. Oh, I know. I think I figured it out. Okay. So today we are streaming over on Instagram for the first time. So we're over on Instagram, X, as well as YouTube. So hi guys. Let's see what Jen's saying. I think there's more to it. I'm not sure what, but he hasn't told the truth. Yes. I was actually telling the coach that. I'm like, my viewers are somehow connected to the Watts case. They think there's more to it and they want to figure out the whole truth. And that's why it's so uh, fulfilling, easy, fun to do these lives about the Watts case, because I know I'm not the only one. I know that I have you guys out there that also are a true Watts case fan. And if you're not, you come in and you become one. Right? So, all right. So I have things, news updates on the Watts case, some on YouTube and some over on, we're going to head over to TikTok, the wild, wild west of TikTok. So let me share my screen with you guys. This is ParaWomen Radio, and I'm Amy. This is day 16 of LIVEmas. We're doing a live a day. Actually, the last few days we've been doing a few lives a day. We covered the Shonda Vander Ark torture case the last few days, and I feel like I need to do a wrap up of that case, pull all the lives together and do a wrap up. So be expecting that. All right. Oh, before we go in, I just wanted to share with you really quick. If you're someone who likes blogs, we have a blog. It's the Cafe Bazaar by ParaWomen Radio blog. I put the Aliens in My Closet LIVEmas that we did up there, and on Wednesdays we talk weird, embark on the quest to seek the myth. I do more of the paranormal over here, but I also, ParaWomen Radio used to have a blog page, and there was about 6 women that contributed to it, but it went defunct and I lost a lot of the writings. But I've been going into the way back machine and I've been pulling them out. So I've been pulling out the classics for the blog page. So if you're someone who likes to read, I have been working on our blog page if you're interested. And here's the link. I'll put the link in the description below. All right, so the first thing I found, and I will put the links to all these channels in the description below. We won't watch the whole video per usual, so that you will go to the person's page and watch it. But the first thing that I saw was that J is for Justice did a Chris Watts update. Prison inmate shares new info and more. And I do have a video of an actual inmate in prison talking about what Chris Watts' life is going to be like, or is like. So I thought we would do that. Let me see, make sure. Let me rearrange my page too. I created a new format. See if it works well. Okay.
And personally,
it looks so good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this isn't the prison update, but they are talking about the painting of the house. The house has been painted and it does look really good in my opinion. Do you guys like the new color of it? I do. It just adds something to it. It makes it look like a new house practically. It brightens it up. It's the color it probably should have always been. What do you guys think? Do you like the new color?
It looks so good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It really does.
It does.
This is ParaWomen Radio, and I'm Amy. If you could give this live a thumbs up, helps us dance out into the algorithm, bring more people back to the party. It's just a free way to help our channel out, and it's really appreciated.
It makes such a difference.
I didn't think that they'd be able to pull it off and kind of make that house, look like a family home again, but I like it.
Amen to
and I kind of like that a family's living there. I hope that they can overcome the stigma of the house, and hopefully people leave it alone now that it doesn't look the same.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks completely different. I still don't know how they live there, but
then not to mention, I mean, remember these 2 windows when people would go there at night
and do those
figures?
live boxes or those spirit boxes. I've done the spirit boxes. I was at a convention in Canada, and we did one, but it wasn't on anyone specific. We were in a building just trying to see. I'm not sure I would drive to somebody's house and sit outside it and do all that stuff. Granted, maybe at the time nobody was in it. I don't know if they are still doing that, but I don't agree with it still being done for sure.
And stuff. Yeah, this was, I don't know whose room that is. One of the girls.
Eerie.
I think it's Cece's, isn't it? Cece was above the garage.
Hi there, Jen. Jen Johnsgard. I've got 2 Jens in here today. Jen, and Jen.
Because Chris couldn't like
Welcome
open the
to
Bella's.
garage or
ParaWomen
whatever.
Radio.
Or Bella. She'd hear the garage door.
This was Bella's room right here, and this was Cece's room up in here. And that's why Chris never used the garage in the morning, because it would wake the girls up. So it's highly weird that he used the garage that morning, huh?
Yeah, I think Bella's was on the right.
But it doesn't look like they have much in the upstairs yet, does it?
No, it looks like there's nothing in the window. So let's move forward and see what they're saying about him in prison.
I mean, that's why Nate
Oof.
moved. Just say what you want about Nosy Nate, but I mean, he saw a lot of shiz, you know? So the update I have on Chris, are you ready for this one? It's not as bad as the last one.
I am ready.
Before we go in, I just want to say I'm so happy you guys are here and you ready to hear some updates on Chris Watts. This is day 16 of my LIVEmas. I've done 16 shows of lives since December 1st. So please go back and listen to them. And if you like my content, please subscribe and make sure you hit that like bell or ring the bell or hit the heart button, whatever, because we're over on X, Instagram, and YouTube today. However you appreciate my video, if you could do that for me, it helps us dance out into the algorithm, bring more people back to the party. It's just a free way to help us out, and it's really appreciated.
But we have a source.
Oh, God.
We have a source at Dodge Correctional that spoke to the Messenger. Isn't that a UK publication? The Messenger. But at any
I've
rate,
not heard of it.
The Messenger, I don't know if that's UK. I thought the Daily Mail was UK, wasn't it? I don't know.
oh, well, oh, here's the knife. I got to show you. The ad just came back. Hold on. Wait for it. Are you kidding me right now? It's like a built-in knife.
Oh,
What? Because
Wait,
of what I
what?
talk about.
What is this? Chris Watts, who murdered his pregnant wife and 2 daughters. Why are we...
Yes. They hear what I talk about.
Oh,
there's
she's talking about the ads. Yeah, they do hear what you're talking about.
weed grinder next to it. What? Sleeves with a built-in knife. What happens if I click on it? I'm scared to.
They're like
But it says big save on
arm
Temu.
protectors.
It on Chris. Hold on. Let me get the picture back up. For the whole, we got to do the whole presentation. So Chris Watts, a source at Dodge Correctional, says that he's definitely turned to his faith.
Thanks for
That
that.
he attends Bible studies and even leads some. He is trying to be a good example. So he's reading his Bible when he's not asking for wet underpants. He's near the bottom of the prison's social order, according to the source. Everyone knows what he did, and they're disgusted by him. He only has a few friends. The source also...
Well, I mean, the few friends that I've heard that he's ever had have been, like, done worse than him. Like the guy who kidnapped that girl and murdered the entire family and kept her hostage. Can't remember the girl's name or his name, but that was his friend.
Also says that Watts has no interest in seeking release and is trying to make the most of his time in prison.
I don't think Chris Watts has any desire to get out right now because he is being taken care of. He doesn't have to do anything. Well, I mean, he has to do things, but his days are ordered. He knows what to expect pretty much day in and day out. He doesn't have to worry about money or take care of a family. He can like schmooze with girls. I think he might like boys too, which it doesn't matter to me. if you like who you like, but I think he does. And so I don't think his life, I don't think he's like hating his life too much. I mean, his family's all up in his butt, like I don't think he thinks his life is too harsh or bad right now. What do you guys think?
The prison source also told the messenger that many fellow inmates have harassed Watts while others ignore him completely. The prison source said, quote, "You don't want to be a baby killer at Dodge, so he's the lowest of the low, but he's trying to help others, even while he mourns his family." The prison source also said, "He deserves the punishment he got. He knows that, and he's going to serve the rest of his life sentence. That's his future." And then they said that he also keeps pictures of his family still in his cell. And that's it. It wasn't a huge update.
When we found out that he keeps pictures of his family in his cell, was Shanann included in those pictures? Let's see what they're saying in the chat. Jay Mueller says, "I hope he goes to bed at night with Bella's voice singing 'My Daddy is a Zero.' What a monster." Yes, Jay, what a effing monster. I don't really like to send bad energy or feelings to people, but I have no problems doing it to Chris Watts. He doesn't deserve... Man, even saying it makes me feel wrong to say he doesn't deserve goodness, because everybody deserves it. But if I'm feeling like I need to send energy to somebody that's less than perfect, I don't really feel too bad about doing it to Chris Watts.
But apparently someone's talking to someone from the
He
prison.
still has their pictures up, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh,
He's still got their pictures in
he
his
still
cell.
has their pictures. I'm sorry, I missed the next part. He works now as a prison janitor.
It just seems so like, ugh. I think that's why my videos, Rhinestone Cowgirl, that have like the sweet home videos, and I'm putting the letters up of, Chris Watts rating these like letters that don't match the sweetness. I think that's why they do so well, because it's like such a like slap in the face. This is ParaWomen Radio, and I'm Amy, day 16 of LIVEmas. We're covering Chris Watts updates. J is for Justice, a month ago, posted this. I have one more from her, and then we have some TikTok. I also have a video of a man that was in jail and prison for a time in his life, kind of telling what life would be like, is like for Chris, and we're going to watch that too. You could give this live a heart, a thumbs up, a smile. Even if you don't like it, please let me know. Helps us dance out into the algorithm, bring more people back to the party. If you don't like it, please let me know why you don't and what I could do to improve, because I'm working on improving us.
And he is eager to start a new life with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
What?
Did you hear what I said?
His girlfriend.
He reportedly spends a lot of time corresponding with scores of smitten women who have written him. And the report claims many of his pen pals.
Well,
we know this to be true, and I think that's another reason he's like just loving prison. He's got all these women writing to him. I have spoken to some women who have wrote to him, and have become good friends with one of them. She wrote, Angela, she wrote from Angela's Aging Essentials. She wrote to him because she's a Christian, and she felt like she needed to make sure he knew God. So, and once she felt like he got the message, she stopped corresponding. If you are someone who's corresponded with Chris, I'd love to talk to you.
Believe he's innocent, despite his admissions.
It's okay, baby.
And did you know that him and Dylan Tallman have a self-published book of prayers? Remember they had the drama about who gets the book? Dylan Tallman says he's over it. He's not worried about it. He's put it all behind him. But one of the prayers from the book I wanted to share. This is one of the prayers. My past is a blueprint and the devil, the architect. While I watch his fallen ones build stone upon stone every day, I see these walls as insurmountable. A barrier that blocks me from enjoying your love, your peace, and your joy, O Lord. You are my master builder. Help me walk around these walls, sound the trumpet, and shout that they may come crashing down like the walls of Jericho. Give me a break. Cry me a river and give me...
Okay, let's go forward. I will put the link to this entire this live so you can go watch it.
A Ouija board down your pants. You're gonna pull that out.
Nancy, our favorite. So to piggyback on the Watts update, this is something that I just found out. We all know that Armchair Detective followed the Watts case like nobody's business. And we know that the Rusek family was not happy about all of his theories, all of his conspiracies, on and on and on, and they retained a lawyer. Frankie retained a lawyer. Now, whether that lawyer got this done, but I don't know who did it, but Armchair Detectives, all his channels are gone, terminated. And
yeah, we covered
Checkmate Humanity.
Checkmate Humanity is a very good channel. We covered this, I think, on day 3 of LIVEmas. It was the deplatformed. So I'm not sure we're going to... Actually, we're just going to move on. I will put the link to the rest of this in the description so that you guys can go and watch it all. I don't watch it all because I want you to go to the person who did the work and look at their video. I don't want to take all their work. Let's see what you guys are saying. Okay. Rhinestone Cowgirl says his letters to his family are so pathetic. If you felt like that, why aren't they still here? Exactly. Nobody who loves their family this strongly would ever harm them. Indeed. Jen says, remember when he brought on Blair? Blair. No, I don't. See, I didn't watch Armchair Detective. I remember when this so-called Jen came through. I remember Jen, the girlfriend, and then she became like the spokeswoman for the Watts case, and I remember that. Oh, Rhinestone remembers. AD is a poser. A piece of shit. Sorry, a poser too. He's in trouble right now for his BS. Yeah, he is, isn't he? He was deplatformed, I think. Okay, so let's go on to the new evidence in the Chris Watts case. Data shows girls were alive when taken to oil site. This one's a long one. Not sure. We'll just pop through it and see what's going on.
Jammers has been a seeker for 6 months. So glad you stopped seeking to 10 minutes. Anna Dark, can you fucking believe it? Completely opened and assigned to Special Agent Black. On 8/14/2018, Frederick Police Department contacted the Fort Collins Residency Agency in regards to Shanann Watts' date of birth, 1/10/84, who had been reported missing by blank the prior afternoon. We know that to be Nicole Atkinson. Shanann is 15 weeks pregnant, and also missing are her 2 daughters, ages 3 and 4.
All right. I'm not really sure where the new data comes in. This might be one that you'll just have to go watch. Yeah. This looks like one that's a good one that you'll just have to go watch because it's yikes. I thought this one was funny. It's a joke, obviously, but hold on a second. Let's share this one. This is ParaWomen Radio, and I'm Amy. We're doing day 16 of LIVEmas. We are taking a peek at Chris Watts and life in prison in 2023. J is for Justice told us that he is a janitor, the bottom of the barrel right now, which I don't think he's ever not going to be the bottom of the barrel. He seems to be pretty satisfied and happy, thinks he's going to be there for the rest of his life, yada, yada, yada. But this is funny. This guy aged Chris Watts. It's obviously not a photo of him, but I think it's obviously what he's going to look like when he ages. What do you guys think? Boom. Do you think Chris Watts is going to look like that when he gets older? I suspect he might. Okay, so I saw over on Dave's page that Chris Watts' mother, Cindy Watts, has responded to Sherilyn Cadle's new book.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
It's only
right. And she's saying things.
Hold on. I don't know. It's only a short, and I don't know how to get it back to the beginning, so I got to let it play, and then we'll rewatch it. This is ParaWomen Radio. I keep saying that it's ParaWomen Radio. I think I keep doing it because we're over on Instagram for the first time live. Okay, so Dave posted a short video on... Oh, he did bring Dave on the channel? He brought David on the channel as well, which is a PDO, which was CW's cellmate, and I believe who was the person with the Vaseline and underwear. Is that the guy that he wrote the book with? I don't agree with everything Dave does or says, but he is friends with the Watts, so he does bring us new content on the Watts case, so I do watch them.
No, I asked Chris. I said, Cadle has a new book out, and she's,
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Right, and she's saying things about me and Ronnie, and I said, I wanted to ask you, did you ever say that you had sex with Nicole Kessinger on the Kitchen Island? And he said, no, never, absolutely not.
Let's listen to that again.
No, I asked Chris. I said, Cadle has a new book out, and she's,
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Right, and she's saying things about me and Ronnie, and I said, I wanted to ask you, did you ever say that you had sex with Nicole Kessinger on the Kitchen Island? And he said, no, never, absolutely not.
The island, is that when they went to North Carolina? Is that what they're trying to... She's trying to say that Nicole Kessinger went to North Carolina? Is that the island? What's interesting to me is that he was so wrapped up with Nicole Kessinger, but the last person that he technically had sex with was his wife, right? Granted, I'm assuming he hasn't had sex since he's been in prison with any women. I'm sure he's been with, well, like I said, I think he's been with men, but I doubt he's been with another woman. So this is a guy that is in prison, or was in prison and jail, and kind of knows the, because they say prison is a whole new, it's a different world, different rules, different everything. And so he kind of talks about it, and I thought it would be interesting to listen to some of him.
And then sentenced and going to prison. I hear everybody talk about it, and everybody say certain people are going to get it when they get into the penitentiary, and how their lives are endangered, and why it's all, risky, that they'll never survive and they have to go into protective custody. Guys, there's a huge realm of how things work on the inside of the penitentiaries and also the jails. They're separate. They are very different. Jails, which are ran by the county, are far different than the prison system that's either ran by the state or by the federal government. Obviously, in someone's case like Chris Watts, which I want to focus in on in this case because I've been specifically asked about his living and what he can look forward to while being incarcerated. Let's start with what it's like to be in jail. In a county jail, you still, just like the penitentiary, have different custody levels. Starts with a minimum and works its way all the way up to a high-profile segregated unit. Also within that, you do have protected custody that's kept separate from all of those. In Chris Watts' situation, obviously, with the type of crimes that he was being charged with, he could never be housed in a minimum, not even a medium. The best that he could ever be, if he was in general population, which is where the majority of inmates on good standing go to, they would go to general population. He could be no lower than a closed custody, high, maximum security, to a segregation or protective custody. In his case, within the jail system, with the high profileness of his case and also the horrificness of killing the two children, it doesn't have much to do with actually taking the life of his wife. If you've been locked up and you've been in high security, the majority of the people you're serving time with are convicted of very tragic cases like this, murders. It's of their loved ones. It's of, family friends. It could possibly be of an estranged person that's dating your wife. Who knows? But they're typically murderers. So it's not uncommon to bump into a very high-profile case. What actually puts the risk on Chris Watts' life is the fact he killed both of his children, which were very young, and also the unborn child. The unborn child is really what puts
Yeah, I
him
was going to say, actually, both of his children and then a third child.
kind of on the chopping block. And when I say chopping block, in the penitentiary, we call it a green light. What a green light means, anybody and everybody takes a shot at you. Anytime you're available and someone's within reach of you, they're going to get their hands on you, and they're going to try to end it all right then and there. They're not just there to slap you around to teach you a lesson. They're there to put you in the exact same spot.
I see. Thank you, D'Andy. They say it was on a kitchen island. Gotcha. Got it. Unfortunately, I got it. I moved my thing. Hold on one second. Okay.
In the exact same way that you put those little children. It's graphic, I know. It's raw, but it's the truth. Sadly, most times when you're in a county jail and you have cases like that, you are put into what's protective custody. They keep you completely separate from anybody within the general population, and in most cases, even all inmates within the protective custody unit. They don't allow anybody to get around you. They know you're high risk, and they're going to protect you because every eye is on that suspect as he's going through.
Yeah, they don't want anything to happen to Chris Watch on their watch because it would draw a lot of attention.
The court system, and the state cannot afford, especially the county, for something to happen to that high profile inmate. It doesn't mean they're going to protect you forever, and it doesn't even mean that you can't get got, because it still happens. But for the most case, they're going to do their very best to keep you separated
because
and
he's
keep
in
you safe.
jail now or prison.
You're going to live in a 6x8 cell.
2 weeks ago.
Your head every night when you lay it down.
Okay,
in
so
your
he's
bunk to go
talking
to
about what
sleep, you'll be
happened
laying
in
right next to
jail.
the
Let's
toilet.
see what he say if he says anything more. What's that?
People are actually wrong when it comes to these high-profile cases. They feel as though the minute that this man hit the yard in Colorado where he committed the crime, he was on the chopping block and the inmates were going to be shooting for him. Most cases in the state penitentiary, and you're on a higher yard, that is very true. The green light is still there and people are shooting for you. Now, the difference being in a state penitentiary, I know people aren't going to believe me when I say the guards, they let it happen. On the yards I was housed on, I knew when someone like Chris Watts was coming out of the yard, his paperwork would come to my cell before he got out of the sally port. I already knew who he was. I already knew why he was there. And we had already discussed within the months of the ranks of the yard how it was going to be handled. So he had no shot if we deemed that he had no shot, because those COs.
Okay, so I guess this guy is saying he was actually, hold on, I got a cough. He was actually in prison with Chris Watts? Is that what it is? Wow. That's really fascinating to me.
Better than to get
This is ParaWomen Radio, day 16 of LIVEmas. If you could give this live a thumbs up, a heart, a smile, whatever you do, it helps us dance out under the algorithm, bring more people back to the party. It's a free way to help us out, and it's really appreciated. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing. And if you do, you got to ring the bell for updates. That's over on YouTube. We're over on YouTube, Instagram, and X. Somebody hacked my Facebook account. If you're someone who knows how to get hacked accounts back, I really need some help on my Facebook. But anyway, thanks for being here. We're doing updates on the Chris Watts case.
In the way.
This guy is a man that apparently was in prison with Chris and is telling the mentality and what everybody thought about him.
Of something we were going to be doing. They also knew better than to hide who it was coming on the yard. Because, yes, ladies and gentlemen, PC cases get hidden every day on yards, and we send them right out packing the minute that we figure out who they are and why they're there. They don't last long. Someone like Chris Watts, if he had come to a yard I was on, wouldn't have made it 15 minutes. He would not have been alive at the end of the day. It just is what it is. It's prison politics. Prison politics are hard to explain, and they would be hard for you to understand if you've never been there. Because even if you have been there and you haven't served a long period of time, you may not have ever gotten involved in it. When you serve a long period of time and you become a part of the home atmosphere, prison becomes home. You live there for a long period of time. You get stable there. Well, you become active within different realms of the politics of the yard, and that's when you become part of the decision making, and you become a part of the actions that get taken upon inmates. Chris Watts is a sick individual for what he did. No reason why the man couldn't have walked away.
That's what everybody says.
He could have gotten custody. shared custody of his children, or if he just decided he didn't want any custody whatsoever, he could have gone that route as
Could have
well.
walked
It
away.
just paid
Okay,
simple
let's-
child maybe. Did they really pay attention to it? Not really. So when somebody comes from out of state, any part of Colorado, of murders of stuff like this, could somebody have possibly heard of it? Maybe. Did they really pay attention to it? Not really. So when somebody comes from out of state, most of the time it goes unrecognized for the time being because it's different politics in different places. Denver is a West Coast political state when it comes to the penitentiary. Wisconsin is more of a back east type of politics. What's the difference? There's many. We can't get into all of them, but there is major differences within the politics. So when Chris Watts was moved to Wisconsin, the way things would be handled for him became far different than what they would have been on the West Coast. He was able to slide in a little more under the radar because even the guards there in Wisconsin might not truly know the entire story behind Chris Watts. They don't get to look at the entire file. They've got a door card that say what the charges are. They don't say what those charges are about. It may say murder in the first. It doesn't say murder in the first took his child's life. That's not how it spells that out. The difference for us on the West Coast is we don't just require your door card when you come on the yard. We want your documentation. We want to know exactly the basis of what those charges are because we do understand many people take plea bargains that change the actual dynamic of what their charge is. If you're a sexual...
It's so interesting to me that he's talking like he is the warden. Like the inmates obviously run the place. We want to know this. We want to see this. We're going to do that.
To have to live in that small cell, walk the yard, fight on the yard, eat in the dirty chow halls, just endure the entire disgustingness of a prison sentence. But I'll tell you what, when I look at someone like Chris Watts, it's sickening. And I know exactly why the politics on the yards and the states I were in were deemed exactly the way they were. We couldn't let somebody like this walk the yard. We could not allow someone that's so disrespectful to children. I understand it's not a sexual predator type crime.
I was thinking about the Shonda Vander Ark, and like I was thinking her life was going to be pretty miserable, but the thing about her is she has all that legal knowledge. So I think that she'll be able to trade her legal knowledge for safety. And I'm just wondering what Chris Watts trades. I think he probably trades all his letters. Like he probably trades the girls that writes to him and the money he gets.
But you ended the life of 2 children and a third that hadn't even been born yet. It's disgusting. That's something that, in my mind, I can't even fathom being able to do. And I just don't think it's right. You ended child's life. Take that said life. Because Chris Watts is weak. He's not somebody that's going to do well in a penitentiary. Just because you've taken the life of a woman and children doesn't mean you can stand on your 2 feet and handle what will be coming your way. Because the people that come inmate-wise at you,
I feel like he just never knows. Like he's somebody that has a bullseye on his back. Like he just never knows when it's going to come at him, I think.
it's no joke. It's no joke. Broken bones are very common just in a simple fist fight.
I have over on TikTok the more information on the so-called attack of Chris Watts. So I will put this man's link in the description. Go over and watch it. He gave us a little information on what it's like for Chris Watts in prison. So this TikTok, it says child killer Chris Watts got attacked in prison by a guard.
Got who? The college? Y'all go ahead and y'all do. I mean, go, KD. No, at the top. Take the book out. All right, get it in.
The dead body sat on the floor for hours before corrections officials were able to move it. Much of the
Got who? The college? Y'all go ahead and y'all do. I mean, go, KD. No, at the top. Take the book out. All right, get it in.
The dead body sat on the floor for hours before corrections.
That's the thing about TikTok. You just never know what you get.
The college? Y'all go ahead and y'all do. I mean, go.
All right, let's see what this is. The same person. Footage of Chris Watts in prison. How do you stop the videos on TikTok? Oh, I did it somehow. Okay, so we're over on TikTok. We're going to take these things with a grain of salt because, yeah. But they're saying that Chris was attacked in prison. This is recent. I did cover it a little bit. I don't think he was attacked, but let's see what they say. Footage of Chris Watts in prison. Photos from him being attacked recently. We'll see. How do you play it? Oops. This is footage of him when he was being booked. Tea and True Crime with Bella. Come on, girl. Actually, where's the mute button? I'm going to have to go in and cut out the music. This is ParaWomen Radio. We're over on TikTok watching videos of Chris Watts supposedly being attacked, but I suspect that this is not Chris Watts in this cell. What are you guys thinking? True Crime with Bella puts a lot of lies out there. I unfollowed and blocked her. Okay. Thanks for the update. So I don't think that was Chris Watts. Let's see what else we have. I wish people had a little more integrity on this app. Amen, Brooke. Let's see what Brooke is saying. Sensitive content. Oh, okay. She's talking about this.
Believe everything you see on TikTok.
Seen this?
You can post facts, you can post even your opinion, but don't post lies. This just gives all of us true crimers a bad name, and I really don't like it. This creator also uploaded a video earlier today and then took it down when she was called out for it, but it was supposedly footage from Chris Watts in prison, but the date in the top left-hand corner, which I guess she forgot to cut out, was August 2017.
Oh.
And if you know anything about the Chris Watts case, it happened in 2018. Don't believe everything you see on TikTok.
Thank you, Brooke, on TikTok. I'm going to follow her. I wish the music wasn't there. I'm going to have to go in and mute that out. Convicted unaliver Chris Watts was written up. I think we watched that. But
y'all remember Chris Watts, that piece of shit who got 5 life sentences for killing his own family? Apparently he got written up and it's sus. Hella sus. Chris Watts disciplined after his underwear and lube were found in another man's cell. Hold up. What? So apparently Watts is on a PC unit with this dude, Dylan Talman, and they just sort of developed a relationship. So first understand that in some prisons, they put little labels on all of your pieces of clothing and they can track your canteen items. They did a cell search on Talman's cell and they found Watts' underwear and his thing of Vaseline. This is a picture of Dylan Talman. This is a picture of Chris Watts. Do you think one was the top and the other was the bottom, or do you think they were just taking turns on each other? Either way, the prison decided that they were going to break these two lovers up, and they sent Talman to another institution, so now Chris is a little lonely. Now, if you remember correctly, Watts was transferred from Colorado, where he should have been doing his prison time, to a PC camp in Wisconsin, so they could try to keep him safe. But here's the thing, there's no safe spaces in prison, and y'all really need to step up your game, Wisconsin. Why is this dude still breathing? Y'all remember Chris Watts, that piece of shit who got 5 life sentences?
why is this dude still breathing? I always wondered why we never got any videos from the prison, but apparently they don't record the videos and release them, and that's why. Let's see what you guys are saying over in chat. I'm just grateful for the OGs too. I'm really trying to build a community that's strong and powerful, knowledgeable, but also spreads kindness, because that's important to me. This is the last video we're going to watch. Chris Watts case, latest update from Ronnie and Cindy Watts in Wisconsin. They went and visit, well, this would be September 21st of 2022. We'll watch a little bit of it. They went and visited, I think this is the one where they talk about Ronnie threw the paper plate in front of them and said, how could you have put the girls through something that small? I think it might be that one.
And said, I have a place in his heart. And I'm saying, he wants to do right by them. He wants to, and even said, God's prayers were answered. You know, that Frank called and said, I have a place in his heart. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is why Frankie's in the dark. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, he's in the dark about it all, and he's the one that's actually being used by Sandy, you know, to be the voice of the family, because he's more believable.
Yeah, because I know there's no way Sandy will get on the phone with him.
I just want to say that we support the Rusaks on this channel, and these are some of the things I don't agree with. The Rusaks are victims. They're victims.
Say that. Ain't no way in hell Sandy will get on the phone with him.
No, never.
Not a chance in the world.
But then, like I told Chris, I said, the only thing Dave is doing, he's not blowing up the Rusaks about this, that, or the other. I said, he's just looking for answers, Chris. I said, the name of his channel is Speaking the Truth with Dave.
Ronnie defended you?
I defended you.
I know it's more of a Z, Rusaks, but I always try to put the checks in there. Rusaks. I always say that, but I know it's Rusaks, but I always say it wrong.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And I said,
yes, Ronnie brought up tonight, and Chris said, he said, well, I knew this was going to happen. He said, but I thought you'd wait till Wednesday or Thursday. He said, I didn't know you were going to bring everything up tonight. And we did. We brought everything to him. Everything.
Really?
Everything. And he's... The what? Oh, you tell him that. Oh my God, Ronnie was dramatic.
Well, I wasn't dramatic.
You were dramatic.
I'm pretty proud of myself for doing that.
He was saying that he just got finished eating, and I got a paper plate because once he sits down, he can't get up. He can't look at the food. He's not allowed to move once he sits down. And the food stuff was right behind us, and I got him the food. And he was eating the cheeseburger and stuff.
I mean, considering Ronnie, and he seems like he's a really kind of easygoing, doesn't really want to say too much to rock the boat. Like, I think it probably took a lot for Ronnie to do that, to throw the plate in front of Chris and say what he said.
I got another plate, and I just threw it down on the table in front of him. I said, "See that right there, Chris?" I put my hand across it like I did that plate at the house. I said, "That's an 8-inch plate." Pretty much, it might be maybe a little bit smaller, but it's pretty much an 8-inch plate. I said, "You look at that."
So I feel like I see progress with the Watts. I see, in the beginning, I just total denial, I think, and I've just seen progress, and so that makes me feel good that there is progress.
And you tell me how them girls went down that. He just sat there and stared at it. I said, "Them girls did not go down through them hatches, Chris."
Like I don't believe the measurement.
Well, you take somebody that's alive and kicking and squeezing and turning the body this way and trying to get arms and everything. Yes, that's possible, maybe. But I think that was over 8 inches in diameter, the way I looked at it. But, yeah, you cannot take a dead body, I don't mean to say it that way, and try to force it down through that without having marks all over them and cuts all over them and everything. And probably all kinds of wounds all over. There's no way, because if you look at the picture of the hatch, it's even got...
I do tend to agree with this. What's strange is I think Bella would be, because she seemed more petite, it would have maybe her, but how in the world did he get Cece through there? I mean, I just don't know.
Part of the opening is not
not as wide. Not as wide when you get those to go in.
That had part of the edge that was not cut out right.
And this obviously right here is Chris Watts's newest letter or newest picture that we have out there of him. So he looks like he's a lot grayer on the sides, and looks like this is his receding hairline is getting worse.
No, there's less made it. And so there's no way
Bella looked just like him, didn't she? My goodness.
And I said, let me answer
but
this.
I can see Cece in these two, so.
Okay, so if they went through the side, well, you said that one tank had like 7 or 8 foot of, oil stuff in it. I said, yeah, so that if they have to take off the sides, that means oil's going to come out of it. Somebody would have to clean that up.
Yeah, one of them did have scrape marks on them, and there was some hair.
I said, what about?
There was some hair in the hatch. The thing is that if he did it, he shoved them through. There wasn't any dropping them through. He crammed them through. And, yeah. Because I can't see how he would have opened the bottom, because if you open the bottom, doesn't all the oil come out? Or maybe I'm wrong with that, but I don't know. I just can't even envision all of it. I just in my mind's eye too, what he told us, what he was willing to tell us, it's got to be 10 times worse. And I just envision him marching little Bella up, because I don't see him wanting to make 2 trips up there. So I don't know. Ugh. I think Cece had some real brain damage and wasn't all there, and that's why he did her first, just to get her. Yeah, anyway. Whew.
Troy coming out there again Tuesday just to look around. What about him saying that Chris might have buried evidence at 1029? He just was sitting there and looked at me. I said, Chris, there's a hell of a lot of shit you don't know.
And what Frank said, you got to stop telling, you've got to stop them from all your coworkers being talked about over the internet. You need to stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave, this is just for your ears now. We can't.
Yeah,
I know it's hard.
What do you
Are these all the people that they believe were involved in this? Is that why we're seeing that? Let's move forward. I will put the link to this so you can watch it all.
Looking around.
In the description.
And I said, what about Troy saying he thought you buried evidence at 1029? He said, I took a dump out there. I said, well, he said you might have buried evidence. That's what he told the FBI. Whoever.
Who was it that took the poo out there? Was it Chris or was it Troy? They're saying Troy.
What about the water truck coming out there? So what about Troy coming back out there next day looking around? For what?
For what?
And I said, what about Troy saying he thought you buried evidence at 1029? He said, I took a dump out there. I said, well, he said
you know, after people murder others, it's common that they'll go to the bathroom. They'll take a poo. Like, remember in the Amanda Knox, there was the poo in the leftover in the toilet. And I've read or heard other cases where there's just poop next to the dead body.
You might have buried evidence. That's what he told the FBI, whoever it was.
And he just looked.
He looked like
I don't think they did, Brooke.
I mean, he didn't know about any of that stuff.
But they must have, right? It seems like they would have, but I don't know.
No, none of that. Not one thing do we know about.
What I told him was,
do you remember a year ago? Remember a year ago, you guys spoke to him on the phone. I said, Troy, over a year ago, actually, Jesus, it was when we first started talking. I said, Troy, threw him under the bus. Troy is a piece of shit. I need you to tell him that Troy's a piece of shit. So you pretty much told him, Ronnie. Dave says.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know how they could, like, I wish I had a friend like Nicole. So that's all I have to say about that. Everybody should have a good friend like Nicole. Okay, you guys, I think that might be it for today's live. We did a little look-see around the internet to see what Chris Watts' life is like in prison. I'm working on the Chris Watts confession live. Do you guys want me to like make it into 2 lives and we'll go over all the confessions, I'm thinking the 3 confessions, the 1 confession where he finally confessed on the, was it the 19th that he confessed? And then he confessed to Cheryl and Cato in a written one. And then he confessed to the detectives that went and to visit him. So overall, that would probably be like a 5-hour live if I did all all 3 of those confessions. Or do you want me to just like take the highlights of the confessions and put it together and we'll watch that? Just let me know which ones you would prefer, like a live that is broken into 2 or a live where it's just 1 and I take the highlights of what I believe are the highlights of the confessions. Just let me know. Okay, so this has been ParaWomen Highlights, please, Heavenly. Okay. I will do that. I think the highlights will probably be the best as well. It's just a lot more work, but I am learning to edit faster, and this LIVEmas has been like a huge success for me, and I've really enjoyed doing it. So I think I can see myself maybe doing a live a day or a live every other day after this, because I do look forward to it. So this has been ParaWomen Radio, day 16. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone on YouTube, X, and Instagram. I want to tell you that Christmas time, holiday season can be a really hard time for many. Just remember to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of you first, you can't take care of anything else in your life or anybody else. So I'm asking you please to take care of yourself. And if nobody's told you this today, I'm telling you this. I love you, and I'm so grateful for you. Bye, everyone.
I don't know. I don't like wish harm on anybody. I really don't. I won't be surprised if it happens, but I don't wish harm on people. It's just not what I do. I don't wish anything for Chris, I guess. I just wish he hadn't done it. But let's see what this guy has to say.
So, Chris Watts, the piece of shit that killed his whole family, weak little motherfucker, finally got just a little bit of a taste of what he's gonna get for the rest of his life. People ask me all the time when I go